So today we're going to be looking at the inside tie, which is going to be a situation where I get my hand outside grabbing my partner's tricep, but my elbow inside her elbow, right? So I have the inside position in this situation. Now this can be a really useful position, especially in Jiu-Jitsu, because a lot of people don't wrestle you in a traditional wrestling stance, right? In the sport of wrestling, people will probably be up against each other low enough to like touch the ground with their hand, right? In this case, it makes a lot of sense for me to go for collar ties, go for her head, all sorts of stuff like that. But in the sport of Jiu-Jitsu, people stand up way more upright. The wrestling stance is going to look a lot more like this. Here, if I go reaching for collar ties, I'm kind of going away from my stance. It gives her the opportunity to punch underhooks and stuff like this from this situation, right? Because I'm kind of coming away from my stance a lot to reach up to her head to get a collar tie. So in these situations, it's going to make a lot more sense for me to stay in my stance, stay tight. Instead of coming up and extending and reaching for her head, I'm staying tight and I'm going right for her tricep, right for an inside tie, okay? Also in situations where maybe we are low enough, let's go this way again. We are low enough that a collar tie makes sense, but she grabs my elbow. From here, I might feel the threat of an elbow pass, right? She could just elbow pass me right away. So another situation where we can use an inside tie is we're low enough that collar ties make sense. She grabs an elbow. I go inside tie to make sure she can't elbow pass me now, okay? So we could do it when someone's a bit more straight up. We can also do it when we are afraid of that elbow pass. Next, we're going to look at our main goals from this position. One of the best things we can do is use our inside position to get a flank or an elbow pass on our partner. So anytime we have an inside tie and we can find a way to get this wrist loose here, we're going to be able to use our inside position to flank our partner. And again, from here, go on all sorts of attacks, right? So what we'll look at next is a few strategies, a few little tricks to get that wrist loose, get that hand loose, so we can pass it across and get an angle. First thing my partner might try to do, if I have an inside tie, is she might try to fight inside, pommel inside for her own inside tie, right? Super simple. I fight inside, she fights inside. But now, the moment when she's fighting inside, her wrist becomes loose. So if I can time this and keep my elbow tight as she tries, so go back outside, as she tries to fight inside, that could be my elbow pass right there. I need to keep my elbow tight. As she's timing it, I'm passing it by. So first situation, I get my tie here. She tries to pommel inside. That becomes my elbow pass. Again, from here, I could score by attacking the legs. I could score by snapping and going behind. Up to you, but I want you scoring every time, okay? Second situation is she's coming over the top and draping. So I get my inside tie. She comes over the top and kind of rests her hand here, right? This could actually stifle me and give me a lot of problems. A lot of my attacks aren't going to work from here. So what I look to do is I just drop my tie. So I build pressure first, and now I just drop my tie, and I reach for it again and get my pass, right? She's hanging on just with that drape. I can just drop it, reach for it again. Sometimes I could even, for a little added security, grab the wrist before I drop it. Now I drop my tie, grab it again. And now I can get an angle. All right? Next one is going to be if she grabs my elbow, right? This is a really common one. I go inside tie, she goes elbow tie. This can also give me a lot of problems. So from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to shake this elbow tie off. How do I do that? This is strong as if I'm pulling. If I'm pulling, I give her a really good handle. So what I do is instead, I push forward. I pull my forearm down to the crook of her elbow. And now I come back and I pump back to get that elbow tie off, right? So I'm here, I get my inside tie. I feel a strong elbow tie, right? If I try to pass it, it's not going anywhere. I go forward and down. Now when I feel the crook of her elbow here in my forearm, I come back and I get a strong pass, shaking that grip off. First, I get my inside tie. She tries to pommel inside. Boom. Right there. There's my pass. I want you guys attacking. Okay? I come in. She drapes over the top. I drop it. Grab it again. Attack. Last one. Strong elbow tie. All I do, I pump forward, down, and back. and I get that angle where I can attack. We just looked at using the inside tie to flank our partner, get an elbow pass on our partner, and get a variety of attacks. Now we're going to look at a different way we can use the elbow tie, the inside tie, sorry, which is by using our elbow to post under their elbow to get attacks in on the near side, right? So if I get my inside tie, regardless of what she does, I can like get my elbow underneath her elbow here and open up a window to attack this near leg in a various amount of ways. I can go high crotch, I could go double leg, I could go head inside single leg. But the point is, I get my inside tie and I press. So I'm not pushing her elbow up, I'm holding it in place and I'm getting underneath my own elbow, opening up a space for me to go. Now, a lot of times when this will happen is as she's reaching for me, I can stay tight with an inside tie and post my elbow. Or if I have an inside tie and she's going for that drape, I can time it as she's going over for that drape. I'm coming under for the post. I feel her reaching for me for a collar tie or something. I post underneath, short little post with my elbow, and I get in on her legs on an attack, right? Oftentimes you'll see people posting like this. I find that's okay, but I like kind of hitting this sort of like combing my hair situation. I see her reach, I just comb my hair and go right in for the shot. The second situation is as she's going for that drape or reaching over for a thumb block. So you got to time this one, right? So maybe she's grabbing an elbow. As I feel her coming over the top, boom, right there. I disappear, right? Or maybe I pass her by. We get here. And now I feel her coming around. Also a good time to go for it, right? I flank my partner. She might try to find a way to fight her way back. Good opportunity to post that elbow with my elbow and get underneath. So we'll look at that one again. Maybe she has an elbow tie and I hit this elbow tie clear. I pump and I pass. And as she's fighting around, boom, I'm gone underneath, okay? So now we're looking at using our inside tie to post under her elbow and get attacks on the near side. You can do this proactively, where you just flare your elbow, get underneath it, or reactively, as she's reaching over the top, or if you haven't made contact yet, as she's reaching, short little hair comb post, get in. So we looked at when I get an inside tie and my partner gets a nice elbow tie and gets a good connection here, we looked at how to clear it, right? We can always punch across to weaken it and then get it across for our elbow pass. But if my partner's creating such a strong connection on this side, I can also use that against them, right? So if I'm here and she's got this tight connection, I know if I pull, she's coming with me, right? Because she's connected to me. So what I can do here, I get my head on this near side, I'm going to hit a back step, I'm going to pull, and I'm going to cause that back leg to step. If this was just hanging loose here, and I tried to pull that leg forward, I don't have the grip to do it. But if she's grabbing onto me, she's helping me draw that leg to me so I can attack it because she's gluing herself to me too. So I have an inside tie and I feel like she's creating a strong connection with an elbow tie here. I can use that against her. I'm gonna get my head first on this side closer because I want my head to go under her chin and around to this leg. Sorry. If I just go straight from this side, there's a chance I meet this arm, right? So I get my head on this side. I take a back step, I pull, and as I pull, I take an outside step and attack this leg. So back step, pull, and attack a single leg. I can finish any way I want there, but the idea is the entry. Using her elbow control against her, I get my head on the same side, little back step, and then as this foot's drawing forward, I take a little penetration step. Back step, pull, get around to that leg. I get my inside tie, elbow tie. I back step, pull to cause that leg to step forward. As it steps forward, I drop my knee right behind, in for a single leg. I can finish however I want. All right, let's give that a shot. 1, 2, 3.